A warm Pocono summer morning has broken over Scranton, Pennsylvania, as another weekend of operations gets underway at Steamtown National Historic Site. Nickel Plate Road GP9 number 514 rides the turntable first and heads into the yard. 514 will make up the train for today's excursion to Moscow, Pennsylvania, before getting ready to pull caboose experiences within the yard. The star of today's show is the largest operating locomotive on Steamtown's roster, former Canadian Pacific H1b Hudson type locomotive number 2816. 2816 shares the stable with Steamtown's three other operable steam locomotives. She was selected for restoration to running condition in the early 1990s with the hope that she would be ready for Steamtown's grand opening in 1995. She wasn't completed until a couple of years after that event, however. Being one of two operating Hudson-type locomotives in North America, 2816 has proven to be a fan favorite. .2816 heads to the back corner of the yard to top her tender off, passing the place where she was parked before she was brought in for restoration. .514 has completed the switching, and .2816 couples onto the excursion consist. Once the brake test is complete and all else is ready, .2816 will take the train to the Steamtown platform in the middle of the yard. .2816 passes by the most well-known member of the Steamtown collection, a Union Pacific big boy. With all passengers aboard, .2816 heads out of Scranton and begins the climb to Moscow. .2816 passes the Matz Street Tower and skirts past the retaining wall at the University of Scranton. With the excursion out of the yard, 514 begins shuffling Lackawanna Caboose 889 back and forth as the internal park train rides this day. .2816 blasts through the iconic Naog Tunnel. It's uphill all the way to Moscow, and .2816 will be working hard to lift the 7-car train up the old Lackawanna main line. A few miles up the line, .2816 passes under the former Erie Railroad Jessup Bridge. Nearing its destination, the train passes the Elmhurst Reservoir. .2816 rolls the train up to the Moscow station. There will be a layover here. During that time, .2816 will be run around to the rear of the train for the return trip to Scranton. With the layover complete and everyone back aboard the train, .2816 backs away from the Moscow station and begins to coast down the grade toward Scranton. 2816 rolls back into the Steamtown platform, marking the completion of another excursion trip to Moscow. After setting the excursion consist back in its storage track, 2816 returns to the roundhouse at the end of the day for a little rest and tender loving care. She will return to Moscow with another excursion tomorrow. In reality, 2816 never ran under F. Nelson Blount or Steamtown's ownership. While she was believed to be in fair mechanical condition, she was never selected for restoration. This allowed for the chain of events that led to her ultimate restoration to operating condition by Canadian Pacific. If 2816 had been part of the operating fleet when Bill Stettler called Steamtown looking for Hudson parts, they likely would not have offered him the locomotive, which means the grand adventures 2816 has actually gone on would have simply never happened. 2816's true story is much wilder than anything that could have awaited her in the Electric City, and is worthy of its own presentation.